What is the what's the stance on the number? The 3.5 is equal to the July low, but labor force participation, we were hoping for a build after last month, didn't get it.
Yeah, you know, we're looking at labor participation over a period of time. Obviously, I would have liked to see that number higher today. It wasn't. Some of the bright spots in this report today, the unemployment rate in the Hispanic community has gone down to an all-time low, 3.8%. We saw a drop in all racial groups of unemployment. We saw manufacturing since President Biden's taken office, over 700,000 jobs. So we're seeing some good things there, but certainly what we have to do is encourage more people to get involved in the labor force.
Wages up 5 year on year, which is on year-on-year basis the lowest of the year, but it's still nowhere near keeping pace with inflation. Does the administration believe wages need to go up or down?
I think what we need to do is bring inflation down, and we're working on bringing those pressures down, whether it's through supply chain or, obviously OPEC's decision this week disappointed the president, disappointed all of us. So we have to continue to shift, be less reliant on foreign energy. We have to continue to work on supply chain to bring those costs down. And I think ultimately, it's good to see wages go up. I personally like to see wages go up as a Secretary of Labor, but with wages going up, we have to continue to bring inflation down.
Okay, so, Mr. Secretary, always good to see you, Jim. The plans to build the semiconductor plants, which are rather remarkable. We have both Micron, we also have the big Ohio plant. I have to tell you, as a student of this, that we don't have enough people to build these things. I mean, don't have enough engineers. We don't have enough people who know how to build a building. How do we go about training people so that they're ready to make it so that they can build all these fabs?
Yeah, we have to be real intentional about the way that we do workforce development and job training apprenticeships. And, since I've been here at Secretary of Labor, before this, I was Mayor of Boston or as the head of the building trades, and we needed people. Our workforce is aging out. In a place like the semiconductors, we're creating all this new industry in the United States of America. And so we have to be working right now while they're building facilities and they're building the plant. We have to be training workers up as they go around the country. That's one of the biggest things I've seen. We got to work closer with community colleges. We got to work closer with workforce development boards. We got to work closer with colleges. And we also got to look at immigration, quite honestly, in reform to allow people that are coming to this country getting educated in those exact fields that you just talked about, so we keep them here in the United States of America to work. So there's a lot of different pieces here that we have to do so we have the workforce, not just for the Intel plant, by the way, but for all industry all across America. When you guys talk on the show every day and you talk about growth in different sectors, in the tech sector and all the different sectors, we're losing out right now, but we don't have enough workers skilled up for those jobs. So we have a unique opportunity, a big opportunity right now to do something different.
Yeah, Mr. Secretary, related, you just said you also need to encourage people to get back into the workforce or start looking for a job. And I'm just curious, how do you actually go about doing that?
A lot of that is going to have to be on a local level, working through mayors and town managers and creating real pathways into job training. The way I envision job training and what I've tried to do my entire career is when you go to a job training program or you go into a pre-apprentice program, at the end of the program or at the end of the training, there's a job. We have to do a better job of partnering with companies in designing these programs, but also making sure that companies are giving us commitment that when somebody goes through a program, they have a job at the end of it. That's going to be key, particularly pre-apprenticeship. Pre-apprenticeship I've found to be very successful because you get a pathway into a union or a pathway into an office, and you're getting paid while you're in the pre-apprentice program, then you get into the apprenticeship. So I think we have to, in the country, really look at the way that we work with people and getting people into industries. Not every industry is open to the idea of apprenticeship, but you look around European countries, apprenticeship is very successful, and it gets people at a very young age to get into these jobs.
Hey, finally, Mr. Secretary, it's been a few weeks since we've been talking about the labor deal on rail. But as we monitor sort of ratification, can you give us an update? And do you think that provides a new framework for how labor thinks about job security in this country right now?
Well, first, we have four of the 12 unions have ratified the contract. We have 8 left to go. I think that one thing I would suggest to both sides here in the company and the unions is not get away from the table. The reason why we got to an agreement is because the president put an emergency board together. They made a recommendation. We're able to sit them down. This is not how a contract should go. They really should get the negotiation done at the table. If it's after the fact, then the Rail Act allows the president to put together this board. If the president didn't have those powers, we don't have an agreement today. So I would encourage in any negotiation If you get to a point where there's a strike or a breakdown, it's too late. We have to make sure, encourage people to stay at the table earlier and get a contract done.